Then,
The body of slain OFW Julie B. Ranara is back in the country. Local authorities are looking to conduct another autopsy on the remains to find out more about her death. Top officials insist that the International Criminal Court has no jurisdiction to conduct an investigation into the Duterte administration's controversial drug war. Meanwhile, Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo refuses to comment on the matter, saying the case could reach the court. And the search continues for the passengers of the missing Cessna plane in Isabela. But families of the missing passengers are getting impatient as they wait for results of the search. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your weekend. I'm Angela Lagunzad. We begin today's newscast with the Supreme Court retaining virtual trials despite the easing of COVID restrictions. Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo said in a press briefing that it will depend on the circumstances of the case. The courts had to resort to virtual hearings during the lockdown as part of the health safety measure.
As I said, virtual trials through video conferencing will be the norm even after the pandemic.
Meanwhile, the Chief Justice declined to comment on the International Criminal Court's reopening of its inquiry on the Duterte administration's deadly war on drugs. Former President Rodrigo Duterte insists that he will not cooperate with the ICC, while drug war architect Senator Bato de la Rosa maintains that his participation depends on President Marcos's decision. For now, the government has said it intends to appeal the resumption of the ICC investigation.
Sorry, but that could be a legal issue that will reach the court, and I don't want to preempt my colleagues.
In other news, the remains of slain Kuwait OFW Julie B. Ranara have arrived in the country on Friday night. Ranara's burnt remains were found in a desert in Kuwait. She was allegedly killed by her employer's 17-year-old son. Migrant Workers Department Secretary Toots Ople said they are still looking into possible complications since the suspect is a minor. Ranara's body will also undergo NBI autopsy.
We need to talk and have a meeting with our ambassador in Kuwait, with our MWO personnel, and also the private lawyer engaged by our embassy to discuss ano yung implications, ano ba yung batas sa Kuwait governing crimes committed by a minor. Will this present complications?
The Philippine government will also be going after Ranara's recruitment agency. The Department of Migrant Workers said they have preventively suspended the agency. The firm, along with Ranara's Kuwaiti employer, will also be blacklisted.
We already preventively suspended the employer because of the death of our OFW. No? At sinampahan na rin po natin ng disciplinary action against the employer. And ang possibility po dito is may kakaroon po ito ng sanction ng blacklisting dahil doon sa nangyari pong namatay.
United States Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin III is set to visit the country soon. The exact date of his visit has yet to be officially announced, but Austin will depart on January 29 U.S. time for South Korea, followed by the Philippines. Once here, Austin will meet with government and military leaders. In a statement, the U.S. Department of Defense said that the trip reaffirms their deep commitment to work with allies in preserving free Indo-Pacific region. Austin's visit comes just 2 months after that of U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris in November of last year. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Angela Lagunzad. Families of the missing Cessna plane passengers are getting more anxious as search and rescue efforts breach its third day. Jenny Dongon with the report.
From the mountains of the Sierra Madre in Isabela down to the coastal areas, this is how wide the search and rescue window is to try and locate the missing single-engine 206 aircraft, which had 6 people on board. But after 3 days of searching, authorities have found nothing. Rescue teams said they are now focusing their search on a smaller area. This is after a farmer from Divilacan, a nearby town in Macunacon, claimed to have seen a distressed plane heading towards the mountainous part of Barangay Dicaruyan. As for the Philippine Air Force, they had to suspend the aerial search on Friday due to bad weather. Families of the missing passengers, however, are getting impatient.
Kung lagi po yung weather na lang po lagi ang inaano, lalo po silang tumatagal doon. Ang hirap po kasi mag-isip, ang hirap pong maghintay. Malaki po yung possibility masave pa sila. Ang hinihingi lang po namin sana madagdagan pa yung mga taong naghahanap sa kanila doon.
In response, Isabella's incident management team defended the ongoing rescue efforts.
Well, akala siguro nila patag yan na madali mong galugarin. Hindi nila alam na bulubundukin yan, matataas na bundok, magkakatabi, magkamali ka lang pwede kayong sumemplang doon.
Meanwhile, some locals in Divilacan and Macunacon have also joined the search for the missing plane. For News 5, Jenny Dongon, We Are One News.
Electric car giant Tesla is currently facing several issues, from a slow Asian market to more rivals popping up. But Tesla's biggest drawback may be its own CEO. This Bloomberg Quick Take tells us why.
Tesla is making more cars than they can sell. They're doing whatever they can to sell cars, and customers haven't responded that enthusiastically yet. Tesla is running into kind of a buzzsaw of issues, many of which have nothing to do with Elon Musk. You've got interest rates going up, which makes its cars more expensive. You have problems in China, which is one of its biggest markets. And you have competition from rival automakers. You know, Ford is bringing out these cars that weren't around a few years ago that are really competitive. Customers are starting to take a second look at other brands. But really, there's this other problem. Musk desperately wants to be considered funny. And it is this desire, which we see play out every day on Musk's Twitter account, that may be starting to hurt Musk's most important asset, his own reputation. At the end of the last quarter in December, the company started frantically cutting prices, and you might think maybe they would have an epic quarter as Musk predicted. In fact, they did not meet expectations. That sent the stock down, further kind of creating this sense of failure and disarray. You're starting to see investors, analysts, even some people who are big fans of Tesla and big fans of Musk say something that would have almost been unthinkable a couple years ago, which is that Musk needs to step back. He needs to either find a way to spend less time on Twitter, or if he's committed to Twitter, to spend less time with Tesla.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Angela Lagunsad. We are One News.